So I got the panels up high. That's like a 9 foot height at the midsection of each panel. And before they were at the top part, the top section where the holes are pre-drilled, and that was just too much weight to be pushing on with any kind of support to adjust the angle so that they were flat, because in the summertime they're pretty much flat for 3 months as the sun goes directly overhead. And I wanted to get things out of the way, so I rearranged the cables, and now I've already gone through the process of lifting these panels up to the midsection and re-bolting them there. And now I'm just showing the last few panels of applying the ropes. And I know ropes are not the best solution. They degrade really quickly, and they're not the most wind resistant in terms of preventing the vibration from having an overall degrading effect on the connecting wires and the brackets themselves. And these Renogy brackets turned out to be really much flimsier than the HQST brackets, and that was an eye-opener. The other thing was where I'm attaching the ropes. I'm just looking for any place to get the job done, and thinking that this is just going to be temporary. This is like the cheapest rope that Walmart sells. It's the cheapest poly clothesline type rope, but I do like how it's easy to melt the ends to where you want, instead of cutting them and doing anything finicky. And there's my this turned out to be a convenient fence location, but the fence is really seen it's on its last leg. People were jumping over the fence for some reason, like it was some kind of game, and so the fence is all kind of beat up, and the posts are out of their bases, so the fence needs to be redone completely. But the other idea I had was maybe having some kind of board coming off the main support boards for attaching, to get the angle, so that you get an angle of to move the panel through the fulcrum, the midsection point. And so this is the fall, so the sun is about at the 45-degree from horizon right now, and it's dipping fast. So the funny thing is that I noticed that if you adjust them as the sun crosses the sky to match the sun, it maximizes the power input. So the ideal solution would be had something motorized or automated to track the sun, but that would just be pretty expensive. I plan on just having them at a optimized angle for a few weeks at a time, and just readjusting it and kind of looking at the power input throughout the day. And I'm going to do the last two on this side. It's kind of artsy looking with like the ropes, like a sailboat has all these ropes and the sails. And there's the Oliver Watchful Owl. And it's a pretty simple solution. Just I use some 12-gauge wire, solid copper wire, and put a few twists on it, and that was to take off any kind of cutting force from the holes that are in the panels themselves. They're just punch holes, so they have the sharp edges. So this was to get away from having the ropes fray and break after just a few weeks. Hopefully. I'm up about 12 feet here on a step ladder, so I'm being super careful. And of course the sun's beating down on me, so I'm sweating my forehead off. And I'm lathered in sunscreen and mosquito repellent. These little tiny ninja mosquitoes are everywhere. And you can barely see them, and they can sense your movements, so they're just out of there within a split second. It's so hard to kill them. So these are the factors involved in this arduous task. So sorry if this is jumping around. I just wanted to get through it. But my previous video showed the panels just hanging there, and that seemed silly because obviously you want to put an angle on them. And I had been planning on doing something like this, but I was thinking more along the lines of using support boards. And then it just hit me that I could just do this opposing rope system, top versus the bottom, and have a pretty solid solution. And yeah, it's just temporary. I keep thinking about how the fence needs to be repaired and how I need to have some more long-term solution for attaching the ropes. Something where it's they're easily adjusted and easy to get to. I'm using these half hitches because it's like a slip. It's a friction slip adjustment knot, so you can adjust the length, but it's only within a specific, within a certain range. So it's not the best solution. It's not like having like a continuous rope going to some kind of friction pulley that you could just I suppose sailboats have that kind of thing where you can just adjust both lengths at once and then lock it in. But I can't imagine an inexpensive way to make something like that, unless it was just like using wood somehow, and the friction between a couple of pieces of wood, maybe like a wing nut, something like that. So this is very temporary, but effective. And I have a sharp angle on that panel, and it seemed like that's what it really liked, because this is after the peak sun, so my amperage input went up after I got this at a sharp angle. So it'd be nice to be able to automate the adjustments so that you could watch the power input and know that this angle was best for this panel. I suppose there are a lot of systems like that are industrial panels that adjust for that maximized input. But so thanks for listening to my exciting voice and intriguing narration. And subscribe and send me well wishes. So I'm really racking my brains trying to figure out how I'm going to get 8 more panels on top of my minivan so that they slide out and act like awnings, but not to spend $1,000 doing it. So that was in my next set of plans. So hopefully no high winds until I really lock this down. Thanks for listening and watching. And I'm in Spring Valley where there's a lot of sun.